first summer that we were here, that seemed like a grand idea. I mean, I wasn't having to drag the 2-liter bottles of water up, and we were having enough water to where we could actually have enough water for bathing. Until we ran into a dry spot just like we're doing now. And I had to call somebody to bring water to put into the tank, which, as you can imagine, is not cheap and was not in our budget. So I immediately started saving money, and I purchased a tank to put beside my house. So this tank uses a different system. First of all, it is fed off of the roof of my house, so there is more square footage of water that is able to come into it. So, I'm trying to climb here. Let's see. So this tank here is fed off of the back part of the house. And this tank here is fed off of the front of the house. It goes down through this. And it goes into a different type of filter. And then it goes into the tank. The way that we tell about how much water we have. So our water is right about here, which is between 2,400 and 2,000 gallons in both tanks. Both of our tanks are married together. I can turn each of them off separately, and I have pulled this piece here off so that you all can see in. I do keep styrofoam pieces which right now is not wanting to cooperate. And there you can see, oops, there's my skirt tail getting in the way. If I can do that with my right hand, maybe better. And there's the shut-off switch. So it goes down through the tank and goes through the shut-off switch. Both of the tanks are tied together. And the reason that I keep the waste styrofoam in there is so that I don't have to worry about it freezing. Because that is one of my big fears, is that we'll have a freeze problem. Goes through here. This one is set up exactly the same way. Goes down. And we're climbing around here, people. And then it goes into the house. Okay, now we're under the house in my quote-unquote crawl space basement area. And here we can see, this is where the line comes in from the gravity fed. And I have it turned off at this point. So all I have to do is flip the switch here, and that turns it off. It goes up through, and then it goes through another filter. This is a GE filter, has a finer mesh to it, and goes up into the house. We have the same setup right here in Umbria's house where it comes in. For the second system that I have, which is not gravity fed, I throw this breaker right here, and that will turn the system off and back on. It goes through the pump. There's a pump that's right here, which comes in from underground. And it goes through the pump, and then it goes through this pressurized system. And there again, we have turn-offs switches on everything. So that gives me 2 ways of getting water. We switch from the side tanks, which, by the way, when they're full, has about 7,000 gallons of water in them, to the gravity fed when it's a day that I call a gray day, or it's raining, or my solar panels are covered with snow, something like that. So when we're trying to save our power, because this does run off of our solar panel system. which we'll be discussing on another video. We have our solar charger inverter controller here, and then my battery bank is actually in this box here. So I still wasn't comfortable with having the gravity fed and the other system. I still wasn't comfortable that we were going to have enough water. So I thought, well, there's water coming off of Ambria's roof. What could we do with that? So what I have done, and this is temporary, is I took a IBC tank, which is 275 gallons. I painted it black, ran just her gutter, split it off, and then ran it into her tank, or into this tank. And we use this for water for the animals. So we can go through this water fairly quickly. For instance, my cow takes about 30 gallons of water a day. And then of course I have my goats, and we have cats and a lot of other animals that we use water out of this system here. And so it comes down through the gutters. There is no filtration system on this tank. And we go in here, and it's just got this. This tank is really, really low right now because we haven't had any water in quite a while. Haven't had any rain. Matter of fact, since we had that goalie washer about 3 weeks ago, we haven't had a drop of rain. So this tank is very low. One of the things that I did is that when I was painting it, is that I took and put a piece of tape, masking tape, down along one of the ribs. And so with that, I can see how much water, and we have got this much water. Right here, we're at the very bottom. This much water in that tank. Now what I can do to put water in here for the animals is take the hose, and from the spigot over here by the firewood, I can turn that on and take out of our larger tanks to put water over here for the animals. And I've had to do that once since we've had this dry snap. So you can have this in perspective. What we are looking at is, here are our houses. There's Ambria's house, and there's my house. And then coming out from our houses, we have gray water, which is the water from the sinks and bathtubs. And if you can see, there's a stick that has an orange cable tied around it. That is where the gray water comes out. There's a 2-inch pipe there, and it goes down into what we're trying to create as a pond. We do have a lot of little frogs and toads that are in there now. This is a brand new, we have just dug it out, pond. Matter of fact, when the excavators were here in one of the earlier videos, they were taking dirt off of the side and creating this bank in the back, because this is pretty steep, so they were leveling all this. Another area where I'm going to be setting up is water off of the barn. And we're going to take a gutter. We're going to put a gutter on this side of the barn. And then we're going to take the guttering and come down, and we're going to put it into that tank. And we're going to stack 2 tanks on top of each other. I have to create a better base than what was built there, and that's why I haven't gone any farther with that. One of the last roofs that we have that we can currently take water off of is our summer kitchen. So what my goal is here is, after I get all that wood out and repair the screening that the goats have knocked out, is that I want to take from these 2 gutters that are coming down here. I want to tie the 2 gutters together across and have them come down. And then I have 2 tanks over here, which I'm going to put on a platform we will have them where they'll be slightly elevated. And I'm going to take those 2 tanks and put on this side. Raise them up so that I can at least get buckets underneath them. And then when I'm doing laundry or out here need water in the kitchen, in the summer kitchen, next summer I'll have it. Now here's the thing. Do I have enough water? I don't know. All I know is that I never want to do without water. I learned very quickly carrying those 2-liter bottles. I learned that I never want to be without water. To be a homesteader, that is something that is the most essential thing that you can have on your property. So at this currently I have several sources of water, and I'm developing new sources. I do want to put some IBC tanks, 275-gallon tanks, up above the garden, and put a shed roof over them. And then I will be able to have water for the garden where I can gravity feed that down. Just remember, you can go 3 minutes, 5 minutes without air. There's not too much I can do about air. You can go in extreme weather. You can go like 3 hours, 4 hours without shelter, or with no shelter. But you can only go 3 days without water. Thank you for coming to Blackberry Ridge. I hope that this has helped some of you understand the way that we're getting our water. If you have any suggestions or comments, please put them down below. I really do appreciate everything that you all have fed back to me. Let's make this a mutual learning experience. Of course, the girls want to get in on the act, so hello, Patsy Cline. God bless America. Pray for our country.